Hey, it's Joe Bradley here, and I just want to take this time to welcome you and just thank you for stopping by to check out this mindset training. Um, this road is this road isn't an easy road, um, but it is possible. And hopefully, the words that I share with you today will give you a boost and give you something to run with because it can get tiring. Um, but I do want to let you know that your journey, if you're just now starting in the field of in the working from home field, or if you just maybe you're starting your own traditional brick and mortar business, I want to say congratulations. I want to say welcome to our side, welcome to our world. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I've started over. I don't know how many times. I've started over so many times, uh, and most of the time, the reason why I did is because um, I I'd quit, I'd give up, or I'd find something new. And nowadays, with technology the way it is, with the internet the way it is, with people being able to bounce shiny things in our faces every other day, and with a product launch or some new business coming out, ground floor opportunity happening every single week. It's very easy. It's very simple to get caught up in the idea of being there first, the idea of being there brand new and all that. But I want to let you know right now, and maybe hopefully this resonates with someone, with just one. If this just helps one person, if this video helps one person, then uh, it's really sought out to do what I needed for it to do. Um, Success is something that there are no shortcuts. There aren't any shortcuts. There's no quick, easy way to get rich. You're not going to wake up tomorrow morning. I don't care how beautiful that $47 product is. You're not going to wake up in the morning and be $250,000 richer tomorrow morning. That's just not going to happen. Um, and I know that maybe you're watching this video and you just now bought that new ClickBank uh, product that promises commissions and promises endless endless customers, and you just bought this business in a box from someone who decided that he didn't want it anymore, and so he sold it to you for $27. Okay, cool, that's awesome. And I'm not saying that the product doesn't work. What I am saying is this: it's going to take a whole lot longer than 24 hours, and it's going to take some effort and some hustling on your part. That's what I had to learn. I got involved in making money from home as a young kid, 16, 17 years old. I did the whole mail order thing where you mail a letter and you mail $1 to everyone on the list, and I'm sure you've probably seen it before too. You give $1 to everyone on the list, and then eventually you're going to have trash bags and trash bags full of dollar bills coming to your house. Well, it never happened for me. That never happened. Um, I've had every this is it this time, this is the one this time that there could possibly be, and nothing ever worked out for me. I've been in at the start of businesses. I've been in the kinds of businesses that have been around for a while, that were 27 years, and they were debt free, and it was a no brainer. It was a foolproof and all that stuff. And there's no, if you get in, then you'll make money. I've been there. I've done that. There's no such thing as getting in and not doing anything. Now, with that said, if you're willing to put forth effort, if you're coachable, and if you're teachable, I know you've heard that before, but for real, if you're coachable, if you're teachable, if you're willing to listen to the people who have been there and who have done that, and you're willing to practice the things that they teach you, if you're willing to put down, forget about the things that you think you know, and actually learn, then success will happen for you. There's And remember, there's no shortcut. You might want to write this down. There's no shortcut to success, but the journey is not long when you know where you're going. I remember when I was growing up as a child, my family and I we drive to Las Vegas where my aunt lived. I grew up in San Diego, California, and we'd make the drive every summer. Sometimes for Christmas we make it as well to go visit my aunt in Las Vegas. And I remember the first time we went, it took forever to get there. It took forever to get there, and we get so impatient because the drive from Las Vegas or from San Diego to Las Vegas is a boring drive, and that was when the speed limit was like 55, 60 miles per hour. Now I believe it's like 85 miles per hour or whatever to get there. So it doesn't take nearly as long because, when it's 75 miles per hour, then you can drive 85, 95 and not worry about getting a ticket. Matter of fact, you can drive probably 95 miles per hour and still have people blowing by you on 15. But when we used to go, the speed limit was a whole lot slower, and the roads were a lot thinner, more narrow. So I remember riding in the car for the first time, and it seemed like forever to get there. And I kept wondering if we were ever going to get there, and we never did. Well, we did actually get there, but it seemed like we never got there. It seemed like it took 2 days and 3 days to get there, but it was only a 6-hour drive back then. But as I got older, and as we continued to take the drive and continue to take the ride, then the ride was nowhere near as long because I had been there before. I knew where we were going. And so the key is to know where you're going. And that's the first part. If you're going to succeed, the answer is not, let me put it this way, because I know how it is to go to the conventions of whatever business you're in, whether you're an affiliate marketer, internet marketer, network marketer, in one of the MLMs, whatever. There's a lot of great companies out there, a lot of good products. I have some really good friends that have benefited, and I've actually benefited from a lot of different products, and I think there are some awesome products. A lot of them are overpriced because they have to pay the compensation plans and everything like that, but nonetheless, there are a lot of great products out there. But make no mistake about it, what's missing in your business, and write this down, what's missing in your business, the reason why you haven't succeeded yet, the reason why you haven't been one of the ones on the stage to make $25,000 or $15,000 or $10,000, the reason why you haven't done that yet is not because you're in the wrong business. Maybe the compensation plan could be a little bit better. Maybe there are some other businesses out there that have better products or whatever. But that's not why you have not experienced the reality of achieving your goals yet. That's not the missing ingredient. The missing ingredient isn't the person who's coaching you. Now you might be able to get some better tips and better skills from someone who's more advanced or whatever, but that's not what's missing. What's missing isn't how long the business has been out, whether it's debt free, how many levels deep does your commission go, how many overrides, what's the percentage of, none of that matters. None of that is the foundation. Those are like leaves on the branches. But what matters and what the answer is, as soon as you get this answer, and write this down, as soon as you get this answer, then you're going to see a window and a doorway that leads right to where you're going. The answer is how long you intend on building your business. I know there are so many presentations that we hear, and so many smooth talkers out there, and $47 investments and $27 investments, get in free and you can still make money, make $10,000 the next week and all that. So I know those are out there. I know that. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. Hustling is the only way you're going to get there, first of all. But it has to be treated like a business. We have to treat our business like a business. Say that to yourself. Say that right now. Treat your business like a business. So many people come into this industry and they see the lavish, they see the lifestyles of the people who have made it, the people who have gone over. They see the person, and they hear the story about how this person was homeless, this person was facing foreclosure, this person had lost everything, lost their job, lost their cars, lost their family, and then 6 months later now they're making more money than the law should allow. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. That journey wasn't something that just happened because the person decided to get in, because the person decided to join the business. That's just one thing, but they decided that, you know what, I'm going to build this business, and not just going to build it for 3 days or build it for a moment, but I'm going to build this business for as long as it takes to become successful, right? In order to do that, in order to build our businesses, in order to build your business to your goal, you have to envision the future outcome for yourself in this business. Envision it. It can't just be, I want to make, it can't be, I just want to make 15 grand a month. I want to make 10 grand a month. What do you want? I asked someone just the other day, I said, okay, what do you see yourself in 90 days? Or in 90 days from today, what do you see yourself? And, I see myself just making $10,000 a month and doing so well and driving a brand new nice car and I just recruiting people left and right in my business, I see it happening. And then I asked another question. I said, well, what are you going to do with the money? What do you need the money for? How are you going to get there? See, it can't just be an empty, vague goal that sits out of reach, but it has to be something that is attainable. It has to be something that's reachable, realistic. I'm not saying to lower our goals. What I'm saying is have a plan that gets there. You probably have a great reason why, but you got to have a plan. You got to have a system that works, that's going to get you to where you need to be. And so I got a few more minutes to share with you, and I'll just share a few quick things. And this is these are foundational moments. So if I had to call this video something, I'd say foundational moments in the journey to success. Foundation moments in the journey to our success. The first thing is we have to change the way we think. Change the way we think. Too many of us think like we think like a fairy tale. Now, we almost do have to believe in magic for this stuff to happen. But it's not just going to happen to us. See, because Muhammad Yunus said, my greatest challenge has been, Muhammad Yunus said, my greatest challenge has been to change the mindset of people. Mindsets play strange tricks on us. We see things the way our minds have instructed our eyes to see. So we all think about what life is all about. We think about what success is. We've heard the stories, we've seen the stories, or we've seen the glory, but we really don't know the time that it took in that 6 months. How much time did that person spend when they were homeless, to go from being homeless to being in foreclosure to living in their car, living in their van, or to being without any kind of employment? How much time did they spend in that 6 months? See, it wasn't just the fact that they joined, but they actually did something in the process, and they knew what they were going to. They visioned themselves. They said there has to be something better. There has to be something better than right now. And if I do the same thing that I did to get here, then I'm never going to end up with any different results. And we hear those things all the time. We quote those things all the time. We quote the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Yeah, that's the perfect definition. But the main reason why we fail, I know the main reason why I kept experiencing failure, the main reason why I kept experiencing failure is because I kept going from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity, but I had the same mindset. I kept thinking that it was the environment, that it was the product, that it was the compensation. That, oh, well, nobody's in this yet, so hey, we're going to do it. I'm going to win this time. But then I'd lose because nobody wanted it. I'd lose because everybody was already in it. But everybody wasn't in it. Everybody wasn't already in. Everybody didn't say no. And the reason why I know that is because, I get in and then 6 months later, after it was already saturated, right? I'd see some stud 10 years, 15 years younger than me jump in, and all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, that guy has a team. That guy's making $50,000 a month, $75,000 a month, But I had a goal. And I knew what I wanted, but I didn't have a plan. Write this down. There is a difference between a goal and a plan. There's a difference between a dream and a plan. And the dream or the goal is the end. That's the envision. That's what I'm talking about when I say know where you're going in your business. Envision yourself. Envision the end result. But what happens many times is we envision the end. We see the end, but we see it in a way that's in a just off the distance, just off in the distance. It's just out of reach. And so, since it's just out of reach, then we're always talking about what we're going to do. And that $10,000 a month stays 90 days away. It stays 30 days away. And we always have 6 months. It stays 6 months away. And then someone else comes in and they walk right past us. They hit every single goal. But here I am, not making it. Have you been there before? Is that where you are right now? You're seeing people walk past you. You're seeing people achieving their goals left and right. Everyone's listening to them. Everyone's paying attention to them. Everyone is doing exactly what they want to do, what they want them to do, but yet no one is paying attention to you. That's because you have not made up in your mind about how long you're going to build this business, right? And so that's the number one indicator of success. And this is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary people. No one was born successful. No one was born with the ability to sell. No one just came out selling stuff. People learn those things, right? So picture the vivid detail. Hold it within your hands what it's going to be when you hit that 90th day. And remember this. In the beginning, you might not make anything. In the beginning, you may spend more hours building and not earning anything. But this is part of the process of building. And you will be tested. You will be tested every moment. But what's going to save you and keep you going is some form of motivation. And just real quick, there's 3 forms of motivation. There's the external form, and that's some kind of reward for your performance, bonus, whoever recruits 10 people, or whoever makes 10 sales this month, if you're just in a direct sales business, whoever makes 10 sales this month gets an extra $1,000 or gets a vacation. There's the bonuses, there's money, recognition, look what he did, yada yada. Those kind of things, that's external motivation. Then there's internal motivation. And the internal motivation is the kind of motivation that keeps you going when the external forms are gone, right? In other words, when there are no bonuses, when there isn't any extra money being given away, when no one is recognizing, when everything just seems like it's just, what keeps you going? Who benefits from your results besides you? Is it family? Is it friends? Is it a loved one? Someone you care about extremely. Maybe someone who's hurting and you want to help them heal. Someone who has lost everything, you want to give it to them. Who benefits beside you? That's an internal. And so when there's nothing being given, when there's no external motivation, there has to be some form of internal motivation to keep going. And then there's a sustainable kind. There's, when roadblocks show up, but you just keep going anyway. When everyone's saying no, but you still know there's a yes somewhere along the way, right? And this isn't something that's new. This isn't something that's strange to any of us. I mean, maybe it might be strange in this atmosphere, but all of us have kept going in spite of the roadblocks when it comes to something. Because all it takes is believing that I can get there. And many times we set goals and we have dreams, but we really don't believe those dreams. We don't believe that this dream can be for me. We don't believe that it can be for me. And see, belief, here's what belief is. Belief is the equivalence of normality. Belief, it comes from two words, two Greek words, which literally mean to live by. And we live by, live, be, live. We live by what we believe, right? And all of us believe something. All of us have faith in something. We believe something, but many of us, we don't believe that our goal can happen for us. And so if we don't believe it, then we won't live by it, right? And that's where the plan comes in. Our plans then are determined by what we believe can happen, what we live by. And so we recognize the things that we believe are for us. I heard somebody say, and we hear it all the time, we hear people say that opportunity only knocks once. Well, no, opportunity's always there. We say, you got to seize the opportunity because it only knocks once. Opportunities don't come around all the time. Opportunities don't always happen. They only happen every once in a while. But opportunity is always there. The key is whether or not we recognize it. And guess what? How many times have you said this? Or have you heard someone say this? We see something happen for someone else. That's positive, right? We see something good happen for someone. We see, the neighbor or someone on the news. We see the group of teachers who bought the lottery ticket and they won. Lottery's kind of a bad example because that's like a 1 in a billion chance. But or we see the person who is we hear about the person on TV, the star, I believe. Find someone, Jamie Foxx, for instance. Jamie Foxx is a great actor, but Jamie Foxx came from a hard place, not necessarily the hood or anything like that. He's from a little country town called Terrell, Texas, but he didn't always have everything just lined up for him. But the way he got to the industry was he just happened to be in the right place at the right time, right? We can find so many different stories of people who are in the business of, or in the movie industry, entertainment field, and we say, man, some people just have all the luck, right? You're right, we say that. Some people just have all the luck. Wow, I wish something like that would happen for me. Well, it's kind of waiting for you. But the key is opening up my belief so I can live by the opportunities that are presenting themselves. Opportunity is always knocking, but if I don't believe it's for me, I'm not going to use the resources that are sitting there. And so then my plan is only going to include the resources that my faith or my belief allows me to recognize that are for me, right? And so my plan then my plan has to be a plan that reaches my goal. And if I don't believe that my goal can happen, then all of a sudden my plan reaches to wherever my belief is. And so it's not that the plan failed. And frankly, we got to stop blaming God and blaming some higher source in the universe for when we don't win or when we don't make it. It's because we planned poorly. We didn't recognize what we had and we used what we could see. Just because you fail doesn't mean that God, for some reason, doesn't want you to have it. Success is based on my ability to believe that what I want or what I'm aiming at is meant for me, or I can hold it. I can have it. If you have a good plan and the plan actually reaches to the place where you can grab a hold of what you want, then your goals can become a reality. And so here's what happens. We see our goal. We have our dream. We want it. But it's sitting out there in the distance, right? It's sitting there in the distance, just out of reach. And we see so many people who have done much more than what our goals and what our dreams are. And because we haven't gotten it yet, we dismiss the dream and we believe down. We believe down. And we lower our goals. We lower our expectations. And we live in a society that seems to thrive off of lowered expectations. We just, think about it. Well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be a movie star, or I want to be a dancer. We have all these, when we're young, when we're kids, we have all these awesome reaching for the stars types of goals. And I want to be, when I grow up, I want to be an Olympic gold medalist, or I want to be an actor, or I want to be in the movies. I want to be, I want to have my own show, my own TV show, my own talk show. I want to be this, I want to be that. And usually what happens is our parents or adults or people who have been there and haven't experienced their own goals will say something like, when it's cute when you're 3 and 4. But when you're 16 and still talking about stuff like that, yeah, but don't get your hopes up. Right? That's what they say. Don't get your hopes up. Believe down. That's what they're saying. Believe down. Now, frankly, I don't want my kids. I don't want my kids to have to settle for less than what their goals and dreams are. We have our dreams and our goals for a reason. You have your dreams and goals for a reason. You jumped into whatever opportunity you're in. You started whatever business you started because somewhere along the line you saw yourself succeeding. But now here you are, just kind of running around with the people who haven't produced anything, but yet they're giving you all the advice. They're giving you everything. They're telling you everything to do. They're spending all this time with you. They're holding your hand. They're taking you down every single step of the way. You call them, they answer the phone, right? They answer the phone. They have every question. They're showing you what to do. They're riding you because you haven't brought anybody into your business this week, and they're saying, look, if you're gonna reach your goal, you got to bring in 2 people. You got to bring in 2 people, right? They're telling you recruit. You got to bring your 2 people. They're calling you all the time, wondering why you haven't brought in your 2 people today, right? Right? But yet they have time to call you. Yet they have time to spend hours on the phone with you, and they have time to critique everything that you're doing. They have all the great ideas, but apparently they're not using them, because if they were doing what you were supposed to be doing, if they were doing what they tell you that you're supposed to be doing, if they were doing they're bringing in 2 people every day or talking to this many people every day, they wouldn't have time to spend all of their time talking to you. And so you're losing because the person who's teaching you is teaching you how to depend on someone else to build your dream. And it doesn't happen that way. You had the dream. You had the goal. You had the idea. It wasn't given to anyone else except for you. And since that's the case, then that means that you're responsible for building that goal, for building that dream. But it happens one step at a time. I got one quick story, and then I'll let you go. And I hope what I'm saying helps. This is mindset stuff. It's really about the mind. It's about how we see ourselves, right? What keeps us going when it seems like nothing is happening? You'll never outperform. You'll never outperform your commitment to your own personal growth and development. You will never outperform your commitment. Never. And so that's why it's so important to know how long you plan on building this thing. Right? Because if it's something that you're looking to make 15 grand in the next 3 weeks or else, then your subconscious has already quit. And it's just sitting at that 3-week mark, no matter how hard you work, right? So write this down. Don't ever put an expiration date on your goals. Put them on your failures instead, right? And what I'm talking about is and let me get to my story, right? I'm trying not to hold anybody long, but just, we spend so much time talking about what we're going to do in 6 months, what we're going to do in 6 months, in a year. My plan, what's your goal? Well, I want to be making $15,000 in a month by 6 months, right? Now, nothing wrong with that. But the thing about it is we put stamps on it. We try it out for a while. We put our success on a trial period. But our failures get chance after chance after chance. Matter of fact, we give our failures scholarships in our lives. So don't put an expiration date on your success. Work it until however long you need to build to your dream, to build to your plan, to build to your idea. However long it takes, commit to that. Commit to that. Because if you commit for any time less, your performance will never outweigh. Your performance will never you'll never outperform or overperform what you've committed yourself to. You never will. Right? So give your failures an expiration date. Instead of saying, if I don't succeed by 6 months, then I'm going to try something else, then say, you know what, if I haven't failed completely. Because it's really all about how we think. It's about the direction of our thinking. We can be going in one direction, and our subconscious, our unconscious can be going in the exact opposite direction. For instance, you say, if I don't make $6,000 by 6 weeks, or if I don't make 5-figure months, if I don't have a 5-figure monthly income by 6 months from now, then I'm going to try something else. Well, now your unconscious is already saying, well, if you're not going to commit, then I'm not either. Right? And so you're talking to people and you wonder why they're not listening. You're using the same words that your guru leader has told you. The person who succeeds is giving you all these things, all these nice little cliches to say, and you're drinking the juice that this person drinks. I remember I had this sales job. We had a job where we were going from business to business, and we were doing little Disney books and all this stuff. We go in the morning. It was really some cheap crap. I mean, we'd hike up the price and then tell them what they can have for the lower price. So we say, you know what, these books normally run for $39 a piece, but you can have all 4 of them for $10. and people would go crazy for it. So there was this guy who came in. I can't think of his name now. I think it was like Chuck or Chip or something like that. I don't know. Chad. His name was Chad. Chad Powers. I remember he came in and he was talking about how he had his goal was to pay $700,000 in taxes. And his goal was to pay $200,000 in taxes that year and the year before, whatever, and he managed to exceed that. So you're paying $700,000 in taxes. You're doing pretty good. And he ended up investing. I think he said $1.2 million that year, which was 10% of what he made. So we all wanted to be like Chad because Chad was where we wanted to be. Chad had the lifestyle. Chad had everything going for him. He was the man. So Chad was the man, right? Chad was the man. And I remember Chad in one of his speeches that morning, or one of those mornings, one of his speeches, he just made a reference to some cranberry juice. He talked about how every morning he drank cranberry juice. And it made him feel good, right? Made him feel good. So Chad didn't realize, Chad didn't realize that we hung on every single word because we wanted to be like Chad. And so what we did, we went out to go sell our stuff, sell our books, our little Disney books and the toys that really didn't work and all that stuff like that. Went to go sell these things. But on the way out, all of us stopped at the gas station without even talking to each other. Everybody went to the freezer at the gas station and opened it up and got an Ocean Spray cranberry juice. And we were drinking the cranberry juice. Because if Chad pays $1.2 million in taxes, or invests $1.2 million, which is 10% of what he made the year before, if he drinks cranberry juice, then we need to drink cranberry juice too. Because if we drink cranberry juice, then we'll be able to invest up to $1.2 million someday, right? It didn't work. Because we were trying to be like Chad. It didn't work. We were looking for some extra quick way to get to where he was. But what Chad didn't mention to any of us is that he had been on that journey for 25 years. See, success is, there are no shortcuts. And the longest time we'll spend on success is trying to avoid the journey. We have to go the journey. All right, so here's my story, and then I'll let you go. We've been here long enough, and I'm sorry, but I hope I help somebody with this. I really do. I really hope I help somebody. And so here's my story, and this I call this story the epitome of not quitting. So I'm in the 9th grade, right? Going into the 9th grade, actually. I was a little guy. I remember I didn't play any real sports until high school, but all my friends did growing up. They all played sports. They played football, basketball, they played baseball and all that stuff. And the only time I'd get a chance to play with them is when we were at the park. I was faster than all of them. I was smaller too, but I was strong. And it was hard to tackle me because I was fast. I got good at basketball, didn't like baseball or whatever, but I played just because, So I remember going into the 9th grade. It was summertime. It was the end of the 8th grade, out of the 8th grade, June, summertime. We're at the gym. I'm working out for the first time. I've never used weights before. But I remember being better than all my friends. I remember being faster than them, and they ran track. I didn't. I remember being able to run past all of them and outjuke them on the field playing football. I was better than the people that played it, so I was used to being better than everybody, right? At everything. So we're in the gym working out. And they had the Olympic bar set with the 45 pound bar, the 45 pound plates, right? One on each side, which I think was like 135 or something like that. And they added another 5 on each side, which made 145. So it was 145, and then I think they did another like 2.5 pound weight on each side. So it was like 150 pounds altogether. So all my friends got under there and they hit it. And there was a lot of people that we didn't know as well, but people on the streets that I grew up on, the street I grew up on, they were all there. All my friends were there. All of them were able to hit it. They were able to hit the weight. And so I'm this little tiny guy, but I'm confident because I was used to winning. And see, winning is good for the confidence, but it's not really good for the character. Losing is good for the character. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about building character. So I get down on the bench, and all the guys that didn't know me were laughing, saying, "Oh man, that dude ain't gonna be able to." Like, "Oh man, that dude ain't gonna be able to hit nothing, man. He ain't gonna be able to do nothing." But I'm like, man, y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know that I'm probably gonna do more than every last one of y'all. I'm gonna do more than every last one of y'all, like hands down. So, whatever, right? So I sit down. I sit up under the bar, sit on the bench, getting ready. Had a spotter, and I was ready because I was about to show every last one of these cats. I was gonna show every one of these dudes that they didn't have nothing on me. So I got under the bar, got ready to do it. The spotter said, "Are you ready?" I said, "I'm ready. I'm ready." Right? Probably did that face too. I'm ready. So I got on the bar. They took it off. As soon as they took it off, fell over. Everybody laughed. And I said, no. They said, all right, take off some weight. I was like, yeah, take off some weight. So they took off the fives and the 2.5s. So that put it down to 135, I believe, something like that. Took off 15 pounds. It was now 135. Tried again, couldn't do it. They took off the 45, put on 25s, couldn't do it. Put on 15s, couldn't do it. Put on 10s, couldn't do it. And then somebody was laughing, saying, let him see if he could hit the bar. Right? By this time I was embarrassed. I was hurt, but they were all laughing at me, whatever. But I said, I'm gonna hit the bar. So I tried the bar. I couldn't even lift the bar. So you gotta understand what this did for me, because I was used to being good at everything and better than everybody, right? And now for the first time, I'm losing. I can't do I couldn't even hit the bar. These guys are hitting 150 pounds and they're working out in sets with them. They're doing reps, 10 reps a piece, right? I can't even hit the bar one time. So all the times that I was used to being good and being better than everyone, that was definitely building my confidence, but it wasn't doing anything for my character. This is the first time that I was told no. This is the first time that I wasn't able to do it, right? They were laughing at me. I was mad and I was embarrassed, but I couldn't really say nothing because I couldn't even hit the bar, right? So, before we were on our way home, my friend Russ, he said, man, on the real, man, if you really want to get strong, man, just go home and do some push-ups. Start doing push-ups, man. Don't even worry about that stuff back there, man. Nobody was able to hit it on their first time. So I was like, okay. So Rusty told me, and Rusty was one of the ones that hit the weight that was the standard weight, the one they were working out with. He hit it like 5 or 6 times. So, hey, why not do it, right? So I took his advice. I said, I'm gonna go home and do some push-ups. I think I cried. I was so embarrassed. I cried, man. I was like, man. So I went home to do the push-ups, and when I got home, all I wanted to do was do some push-ups because Rusty said that the push-ups would make me strong. So I went home, I did the push-ups, or tried. And do you know how many push-ups I was able to do? None. Not one push-up. I was at home by myself. Nobody was there with me. And I was embarrassed because I couldn't do one push-up. And so I could have done 2 things. I could have quit and said, it's just not meant for me to do push-ups, right? I guess it's just not meant for me to do push-ups. I'll do some other stuff. I guess it's not meant for me to do push-ups. I'll go I'll go get a paper route or something like that, right? But no. See, I wanted to get strong enough to hit the weight. I wanted to get strong enough to lift the weights, to lift 150 pounds. And this was June, at the end of the 8th grade, going to the 9th grade. I wanted to get strong enough. I knew what I had to do. And Rusty told me that if I want to lift 150 pounds, then we're going to have to go home and do some push-ups. The only problem is I couldn't do any push-ups. So my goal then, my ultimate goal was to lift 150 pounds so that they couldn't laugh at me, right? Because I was embarrassed. Because I was used to being better than everybody else. But that day I was better than none, right? So I couldn't do the push-ups. I was embarrassed at home by myself for not being able to do push-ups, or not being able to do a push-up. Write that down. A push-up. Couldn't do one push-up. That was me. So my goal that whole week was to do a push-up. I promise I'm not exaggerating on this story. My goal was to do one push-up. And so as I would try, I couldn't get one push-up out, right? And so I'm watching boxing on TV, watching different shows, and every time the commercial break came on, I'm endeavoring to do a push-up. At first, my goal was to do a push-up that day. When I first got home, my goal was to do push-ups. Couldn't do push-ups, couldn't do one. So then my goal that day was to do a push-up. Couldn't do a push-up that day. So my goal became, I need to do a push-up this week. My goal is to do a push-up this week. And I think like 2 or 3 days later, I finally got my first push-up in. And I was excited. It was during a commercial break on boxing. Watching boxing. In between, it was boxing on USA. I think it was Tuesday night fights or something like that, or Thursday night fights, whatever. And during the end of the round, they always show a minute commercial break. And so I did a push-up. I managed to do a push-up. Now watch this, because when we break down the ultimate goal into tiny goals, tiny little tiny bitty teeny tiny goals, then we advance without realizing that we're advancing, right? So I did that push-up, but what I didn't know was happening is that all the while that I was failing, I was actually getting stronger, even though it didn't seem like it, right? And so I did my one push-up, and then my goal was to do another push-up, right? And so the next commercial break, I did another push-up. Now, in my mind, if you were to ask me how many push-ups could I do, I would tell you I could do one push-up. But the reality of it is I could do 2 push-ups, because I did one, and then 3 minutes later, I did another one. I was only able to do one within that minute. But remember, it was just a few days ago, I couldn't do any at all for the day. And so I did that. Then a week later, I remember watching TV, and I kept with this habit. This habit was, whenever the commercial came on, do a push-up. And eventually, it got to the point where I was doing a push-up per commercial. And then after that, I started doing a push-up per commercial, and then 2 push-ups per commercial, and then 3 push-ups. I got to the point where I started doing 10 push-ups per commercial break, and then 10 push-ups per commercial. Right? It was about a month and a half later, and I didn't have to depend on the commercials anymore before I do push-ups. We'd be outside, just in the garage, and I'd get down and just start doing push-ups. I'd do 10, 15, 20 quick push-ups. Now, remind you, just a few weeks ago, I couldn't do one push-up. Right? But every time I attempted to push, I was getting strong in the areas that I needed. My triceps were getting stronger, and my pectorals were getting stronger, and every muscle that was needed to get me to be able to do a push-up was getting stronger, even though it didn't look like I was going anywhere. And I eventually got to the point where I was doing 100 push-ups per commercial break. And then I do 1,000 push-ups before I went to bed. I do 150 push-ups when I wake up in the morning. I don't know how many push-ups throughout the day I was doing, but there was a time not long before that I couldn't do one push-up. I couldn't do one push-up. So we're fast forwarding now back to when we get back in the gym again. We're actually in school now, ninth grade. We're in school now, ninth grade, right? PE, and it was the same core group. A few other people were added to this scene, and they were lifting 150 pounds, right? Now, I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous as all get out. I was nervous because I hadn't lifted any weight since then. And so they wanted to tease me. They said, "Hey Joe, why don't you get up under there, man? Joe, hey, let Joe get up under that on that bench, Now I was nervous, but I wanted to prove a point. So they put the 150 pounds on there. Actually, they said, well, no, just do 135 for this cat, man. Hey, matter of fact, he might not be able to do that, but we'll get. And so I got down, got on the 135. They were laughing. This is before cell phones and stuff, so nobody was like filming to put on YouTube or whatever. But I literally got under on that bench, got under that bar, and I didn't know if I was going to be able. I didn't know how many times I was going to lift it. But I knew I was going to be able to. Even if it was just one time. I knew it. I was nervous. But I had enough confidence because I had spent my time getting stronger. Right? And so they had the 135 on there. And I told them, I said, no, put the weight back on there. Put the 150 back on there. Right? So they put the 150 back on. I got down. The guy came to spot. I told him, I don't need a spotter. Right? See, the benefit of breaking down the ultimate goal into tiny little goals is that when you're there, even though you've never been there before, you know you belong. You know you belong. It was normal for me. Even though I had never lifted 150 pounds, I had lifted myself off the ground so many times doing those push-ups to where I knew that it was my time now, 3 months later, to get up under this weight and do what I couldn't do before. See, before I thought I was going to outlift all of them, but I didn't put enough time in. Now, I'm sitting there. I get up under this bar. I tell the spotter to move. No, move. Tell the spotter to move. I took it off, and I remember like it was yesterday. It was pretty cool. I took it off, and actually this is when I got my name. One of my names, Big Joe. I was kind of small, but actually rather small. But they call me Big Joe because I was pretty big in my strength, if you will. Incredible Hulk was another name that I had, but I won't go into a whole lot of nicknames. But they call me Superman too. But whatever. So I got up under there. I took that 150 and I lifted it 22 times, non-stop, just 22 times, and it felt so good because there was very little resistance as I lifted that weight. There was very little resistance as I hit the weight that I couldn't hit 3 months ago. What's the point of this story? Well, I'm going to let you go right after I tell you the point of this story. The point of this story is you might be failing miserably right now in your business. You might be failing miserably when it comes to your goals. And people are laughing at you. Your friends are laughing at you. Everyone's laughing at you because you can't hit the weight. Well, let me tell you something. Don't quit. Because if I decided to get a paper route, if I decided to do something else other than try to get to where I could lift this weight, then I would have never had this story to bring to real life and to bring to any part of life, in that when you do something long enough, you get better at it. Nobody's born great. Nobody is born excellent. Nobody is born at the top. Nobody is born as a success. Everyone has to get to the point where they can first do one push-up. And once you can do one push-up, then you can do 2 push-ups. And when you can do 2 push-ups, you can do 10 push-ups. And once you do 10 push-ups, you can do 100 push-ups. Don't try to take too much of a bite right now. But first, just aim at the 1 push-up. Do 1 and understand that even if you can't do 1, that don't mean that you don't belong on the field. So what, you haven't made the kind of money that you want to make? So what, you haven't accomplished the goals that you think you should have accomplished by now? You just keep on pushing up, and eventually you're going to get up on that bench, you're going to lift up that weight, and you're going to lift it up more times than you thought you could, because you put in the work and you didn't quit. Don't quit because it's not working right now. Don't quit because it seems like every time you try, no one wants what you have. The reason why it's not working, the reason why it's not because you're not, it may not be because you're not doing it right. It may not be because you're not spending, you're not, it may not be because you're not buying the products, or you're not doing this, or you're not going out. That might not be, it might not be because you're not going to enough meetings, or you're not talking to enough people. That may not be what it is. You might have the perfect plan. You might have the perfect ingredients. You might have all the ingredients, the perfect plan, the perfect scenario, but it just takes the time that it's going to take. Remember what we said in the beginning of this video, that there are no shortcuts to success. And right now, the reason why you haven't succeeded yet, and you've gone through the emotions, if you're anything like me, is because every time you can't do a push-up, you quit. Every time you can't do the push-up, you quit. Every time you can't lift the bar, you quit, and you go somewhere else where there's lighter weight. No one succeeds from quitting. And I did not quit that day. When I was in the 9th grade, I didn't quit. Right? And here's the reality. And this is what you can take with you. And I thank you so much for listening. Matter of fact, hit the like button and share this. If this helped you today, share this. But here's the reality. It is impossible to not win. I'm not even going to say fail. I'm not even going to say it's impossible to fail, because we don't want to talk about failure. It's impossible to not win if you don't quit. It's impossible. It's impossible to not achieve whatever your goal is if you don't quit. That guy that was homeless, that you know in your business, who's now making $154,000 a month, he didn't just hit that because he decided that he was going to join. The reason why he hit that is because he did the time. He took the time to do his push-ups. And he kept doing push-ups. And for 6 months straight, he did push-ups. And when it was time for him to lift the weight, he was able to do it way more times than what was required of him. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for listening. I hope this has helped you. If it has, then go ahead and share this. My team, I'm in the Empower Network. We have these kind of powwows all the time, and I'm building an army right now. I'm building an army, and I would really like for you to be in this army, but I don't want you to be in my army. I don't want you to be on my team if you're not going to do any push-ups. Now, you're probably not going to make money your first day. You might, but you're probably not going to make money your first day. If you've never done this before, that's cool, that's awesome, but get in there, get in the gym, get your workout on, do your push-ups, and you're going to make it. I promise, if you do push-ups, you'll see the results, right? Well, I'm not going to guarantee any income, any income amount or anything like that, but if you put in the work, you'll get there. You'll get there. So I'm building an army. I'm building an army. I've started over so many times. And And this time around, it's a whole lot better, because I know that it's the push-ups that are going to get me to the weight I need. I have a 90-day goal. And I want you to join with me. I believe in myself. And I believe in the leaders who are teaching us, David Wood and David Sharp. They have come from so far. They've come from a long way. They've traveled so far. They've come from a long way to help you and me, to help people just like you and just like me. And they're not afraid to tell their stories. David Wood was homeless. David Sharp was on drugs, lost his, and he'll tell you this. You'll hear his story. Lost his job, lost his child, lost his house. But they were able to do the push-ups to get back in life. I don't know where you are right now, but I do know that wherever you're trying to go, you can get there from right here. You can get there. We have an army. We're building an army. And we're going to help you set up your 90-day plan, step by step, one push-up at a time. We're going to help you. If you're willing to do your push-ups, then we'll be in the gym, making sure that when it's time to lift the weight, you'll be able to lift it much more, many more times than what is required of you. There's a link to the web page. Click on that link, enter in your email, listen to what Lawrence Tam, and there's a whole lot of other ordinary people on there. Ordinary people who came from ordinary backgrounds. They weren't born that way. They weren't born leaders who have turned in some extraordinary amounts of money. They've turned into some extraordinary people. And you can be one of them. The vision, 30 millionaires. 30 millionaires in 2013. You can be one of them. Not make any income promises, because if you don't do anything, you're not going to make anything. That's for sure. But if you put your head together, put your head to the ground, get down, do your push-ups. Even if it doesn't feel like you're making any progress, you just keep on pushing. You'll keep getting stronger. And I promise you won't regret it. Not only do you stand the chance to become extremely wealthy, but you'll be able to become the person you've always wanted to be. And then even better. It sounds good? Go ahead. Click on the link. Enter your email. Listen to the presentation. Listen to the video. Watch the story. Watch the life story. Watch how David allows you to see how his life transformed. And then I want to meet you. I want you to shake my hand. And I want you to tell me that it was how we met. You met me, we met each other on this video right here. This is the video that changed your mind about quitting. And you decided to keep going because you just realized that you just hadn't done enough push-ups. www.bigheadhundreds.com. I think you'll like that website. Just go ahead on and go over there. When you get there, I'll see you on the inside. I'll see you on my team. And we don't let our soldiers fall without helping them up. No man left behind. All right. See you on the inside.